What do you mean?
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 That's the name of the channel. What do you mean with an exclamation point and a question mark?
New president of the UAW, Shawn Fain, who is really impressive.
The CEO of Ford say that it would bankrupt them if they met your demands. What do you think of that?
I think it's a joke. You know what? They could double our pay right now. Labor, the cost of labor that goes into a vehicle is 5% of the vehicle. They could double our wages, and they could not raise the price of vehicles. They would still make billions of dollars.
You want a 40% pay raise for the workers. And of course, Shawn Fain wants that because the executives got a 40% pay raise. So
right.
He's like, I didn't pull this number out of nowhere. I want this for a reason.
Well, we love it. Jim Cramer over on CNBC. He's been having, at this point, like a multi-month meltdown over Shawn Fain's rhetoric and who he is and the possibility of them going out on strike. So he had his latest reaction. He offered an unbelievable suggestion for what the car companies should actually do in response. Let's take a listen.
I'm going to posit something. The man you saw just now, I think, is a paper tiger. He's coming in and saying, well, they've never seen anything like it. I think there's a nuclear option on the table if he's not careful. And that nuclear option is a country called Mexico. You don't hear about it much. But if you say we're intransigent and we're going to stay at 40%, there's no give, well, you know what? Monterrey, Puebla, Querétaro.
There's the capacity to have that happen, not overnight.
Mercedes did it in 2 years.
2 years would be a long time, too.
Why? They don't have that much demand. You put that out there and you say, listen, you want to know where the new ones are going to be made? We're going to continue to make the old ones. But Puebla's got a 55,000 person factory for VW, and they got a good educational workforce. It's $5 an hour. No real pollution control rules. That's not to be mentioned. Have free health care. So you know what? You want to play ball? You want to keep doing this? Mexico.
Glad to see you're standing up for the American worker here, Jim. Thanks for that.
Well, no, I was a union member twice.
Alright, I bet you won't guess what this video is actually going to end up being about. Now, I recommend watching the videos I put in the description box, because I will usually put the videos that I'm using clips from, because Crystal and Carl make great points, especially the one Carl makes about tariffs and everything. I just want to talk about something that wasn't really touched on, which I get why. It was one of many things that, what's that dude's name? Cramer listed off.
And they got a good educational workforce. It's $5 an hour. No real pollution control rules. That's not to be mentioned. Have free health care. So you know what? You want to play ball? You want to keep doing this? Mexico.
I wonder if anyone can guess what I'm honing in on.
Not to be mentioned. Have free health care. So you know what? You want to play...
Did you get it? Did you... Yeah?
Free health care. Have free health care. Free health care.
Just to keep everyone on the same page, that really is somebody on television saying to Americans that because he's really got a problem with a union calling for a strike, he reckons that all these American manufacturing jobs should just up and go to Mexico. And part of his selling point for why you'd be better off with a workforce in Mexico is the health care.
Free health care?
Alright, we'll start from the top with the choice of words of free health care. We know what he means. It'll be essentially free to the patient. But it's not really free, because doctors and nurses still need to be paid, medical supplies still need to be paid for. So how do you do that? With the big insurance pool known as the government. I can't speak for Mexico, but I'd assume that it would operate somewhat in a similar manner to what we've got down here. Medicare, people pay into the Medicare levy with their income tax, and then you go to a doctor, you have a Medicare card. We have private healthcare as well here, but I don't think they would be doing too well, especially after they've proven they can't protect your information. I will say, if I bother to put like links to my other videos, you should just go watch them, please. Thanks. Anyway, enough about us, enough about me. Back to my poor friends in the USA, because you are in quite a situation. I'm quite worried about you. So, but thinking outside of the box, thinking what if you fight fire with fire, try to beat them at their own game, because companies already like trying to get the government to pay for things that they probably should be paying for, like, wages, paying high enough wages so people can eat, but instead you have people that are working and also needing food stamps. So they're already doing it in places like that. So if we can get capitalism to cannibalize itself in a particular way where every industry teams up and goes after the private health insurance in your country, to be like, nah, the government should be doing this. Why are we paying all this extra money? Like, if you had the manufacturing industry and like retail and hospitality, like all the lobbyists behind all that, if they just sort of went, yeah, let's take out the health insurance. Let's put that on the government. Let's be like the rest of the world. See, maybe, the whole make them think it's their idea and they might want to go for it. But like, seriously though, if we get every other industry to, that they would acknowledge how much better it would be for their industry if people had more disposable income that didn't have to go on co-pays and deductibles and premiums and all that. And if the government has to pay for things, they probably usually want to regulate the price for it, if they're smart, I feel certain in saying that this little video here is probably putting more effort into trying to get Americans healthcare than a lot of American politicians. So, I'm trying. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. See, this is why I use my talking skull thing, because it doesn't matter what I look like. Ugh.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What?